Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Welcome to the second episode today of FPL Don't Panic. I was going to leave it at just the Game Week 14 review video and my thoughts towards Game Week 15, my team, and a little bit of my strategizing going forward. But as I was thinking about it, it prompted me, as I think about that strategy going forward, maybe it was time to do another little top 50 review. And I'll tell you why. I have had this feeling the last game week or two, and I've mentioned it in my videos, that teams are starting to get a bit samey, that we're not seeing, it's hard to get a rise. Equally, when you have a disaster of a game week like I did this week, didn't fall anywhere near as badly as I could have. That's because we've all got the same teams, We've all got a Gabriel, we've all got a Salah Sakapama, and we've all got at least two, and in some cases three, rotating GP forwards. And I can feel a shift coming. And I think the key thing is is trying to stay ahead of that curve. Where I think the shift is going to go, and I could be wrong, but it's kind of what my spreadsheet's telling me, and I'm not saying the spreadsheet never lies, it lies plenty of times, but it's also put me onto things pretty quickly as well, like getting rid of getting rid of Haaland early, while a lot of people were holding on to him. It really has saved my season, because I was, languishing just 4 or 5 game weeks ago in 2.5 millionth. And I got rid of, that's my turtle going nuts in the background. Is he there? Hello? And I got rid of Haaland pretty early. It was still a lot of damage done. I was down about 2.5 million, but because I got rid of him early, before everyone else was really, obviously some people had, but before the majority had got onto Salah Sakapama, I reaped some benefit there, and I got myself up into the top 200k in just a matter of 4 or 5 game weeks. And this week was my first red in 6 game weeks. And I kind of could see it coming. And I'm just glad it wasn't a big one. And I'm already start making moves towards creating some differentials, because we're going to need differentials now. If we're going to go up or we're not going to drop, we're going to end up having 60 or 70 point weeks and going nowhere. Little reds, little greens, but not actually achieving anything. I believe we're moving into a period, and I think it's going to be largely fixture driven, but also dropping off in form. I think we're going to be moving towards people looking at bringing the double Arsenal defence, because they've got great fixtures, they're defending well. And also, as we're getting the drop off, I think in these cheap forwards, which I was on the triple cheap forwards, I'd Wizza Cunha, João Pedro thing. I think we need to start thinking about getting in one, and in my case, two more, not quite premiums, not your Haalands or something like that, but a Jackson and an Isak. I'm going to be moving towards. I'm almost set in concrete in my mind that it's going to be Isak, Jackson, and João Pedro, and then I'll be going with a double Arsenal defence, bringing in Timber, and I've already got my Liverpool now that I brought in this week, Van Dijk. I think that's going to just shift things a wee bit. I could be wrong. But in the meantime, let's take a look at the top 50 briefly, and then maybe just have a look at a few of the top 5 and just see what the shift is in the top 50 this week, and what some of these, let's call them what they are, leading managers. They're in that top 50 and going well. They're there for a reason. Let's have a look and see what they're doing, and see if we can see any shifts or move towards anything, and then to see who's falling down the ladder, and it will be people that are on the current template-ish type team. Anyway, let's see if I can get myself out of the corner without doing any damage. That's where I put myself in the corner, I should say. And if you guys can actually see the screen properly. Right, that should do it, he said, hopefully. Right, let's have a look. Okay, there's people dropping out now. So what I'd seen in the last few weeks when I've had a look at this is that the top 50 was a lot more stable than it had been for a while as that template unfolded. So weeks and weeks ago, we were seeing all the people that owned Howland falling out the top 50. Literally, it was a sea of change. It was a sea of green coming out, and one or two reds, but mostly probably just see 3, 4, 5, 6 people stay in that top 50. Then it actually steadied for a little bit. Now it looks to see there's a bit more change coming in this week. That's the first thing I noticed, certainly in that top 12 or 13 that we can see there. Let's bring that down. Yeah, so interesting to see. Yeah, a lot of new people entering that top 50 with the 76s and whatever. And as we can see, the ones that are hovering around the sort of scores that I had, the 59s, the 58s, and the 66s are dropping down. So we did a little spot check, and maybe let's look at the higher scores. We'll look at the lower scores first. So I'm just going to do this at random. Something of a similar sort of score to myself this week. Let's go back of the netto. I do love the FPL names. People get many. You'll probably notice, the eagle-eyed amongst you will probably notice that my name changes every other week. Currently, I am on Yes Indeedy. I have been Arteta Scorchio, which a few of you, the older generation, will probably know from the Fast Show, UK comedy back in the 90s. I've been Fafanas in Ananas. Yeah, pretty much change every week just for the hell of it. Right, what we got here? This is a similar sort of score to mine. Yeah, box standard, 4.5 million goalkeeper, same as me. Couple of cheap defenders, same as me. An Arsenal defender, same as me, except his Arsenal defender actually did a lot better than me this week because he had Timber, and I have Gabriel. Your stock standard, Salah, Palmer, Saka. Wrong captaincy decisions obviously cost him. Yeah, sort of cheapish sort of midfielder to make up the numbers. I actually have decent money in the bank, so I had to have Bruno, but I am going to be using Bruno as a cash cow to fund my getting my additional Arsenal defender, and as well as actually bringing in Isak in the next week or so, and one or two other things that I'm thinking about. Cheapy forwards, same as me. And he's got Jackson on the bench. He has got Jackson on the bench, who I brought in. He's actually got, apart from Wiz, I'm Cunha, Jackson, and João Pedro. So it's the same but different. But you get this. This to me is a fairly typical template sort of team. And if these cheap forwards are falling away, and we're not keeping clean sheets apart from the one Arsenal defender, these are where we can make it. We can't change that midfield. It'd be suicide. It'd be tantamount to suicide. I am likely to move Bruno out to bring in a Matoma or a Johnson, or my current favourite, where I think I'll link, because I do like their fixtures and I like Bournemouth. I think they're actually a really solid outfit. Semenyo. Semenyo served his yellow yet. He was on 4 yellows. I'll need to check that. That might influence my thoughts a wee bit. We've all got reasonably strong benches now, I think, but I think maybe some of us have got too much money tied up on the bench. We need to get it into the team and just make sure we've got solid players on the bench, but get some money out of there. So, but yeah, 8 Nori, same as me, and cheap. Basically, you've got your four cheapy defenders that he rotates: an Arsenal defender, Salah, Saka, Palmer, Bruno, Matoma, and cheapest forwards, but he's brought the Jackson in now, so pretty much the same team as me in all, but a couple of names different really. And yeah, it's pretty much the same thing. So this to me is the first bit of affirmation. Bloody turtle. Is an affirmation of my own thoughts. We'll look at one more. I think that's. Let's have a look at someone that's on the rise. What did I do there? Skip back. I'm not sure how I managed that. There we go. Now I'm just looking at history here. Bear with me for a second. Let's get back to the topic in hand. I only went up in one bloody league this week. Well, it's the one that I actually do with my one personal league. I really don't know what this one. My best mate plays it. He's a fool that got me involved in this in this game. So I've just overtaken him this week. Very happy about that. Where we go. Right, overall, that's what we want. Let's get back on track. Okay. So I had to look at a score similar-ish to mine and really confirmed what I already knew. It was going to be a very, very similar team. Who's on the rise? Right, let's have a look at randomly. ASG. 80 points. That's a good sort of solid score. If he's played chips and things, I'm not interested. I'm looking for... No chips played. Just a good solid 80. Took a -4. Okay, I do talk about these leading players not taking hits. As a few of you may already know, I'm renaming them because I said I'm not going to take any more hits this season. So I've realised I am going to take some hits. So I'm renaming them strategic worsening of points. Swapping some points, get some players in that you want now because you know you're going to get a long-term benefit out of them. So I'm not taking any hits. I'm doing a swap. Right, Fabianski and Sanchez. So maybe Fabianski came off the bench. All good. Arsenal defender. Spurs defender. Parma Salah Saka. That's pretty template. Boom. Yeah. Two more premium. Not quite premium. Well, yeah. But two of the more expensive forwards. He's got an Isak and Watkins. I'm thinking Isak and Jackson for me, because I won't be able to get to a Watkins. Cheap, adequate bench. Not a lot going on there. Yeah, I kind of like it. What's his budget like? It's one of the things. I guess I am a little bit lucky. I do actually have 104.5, I think, something like that in the bank. Not in the bank, but you know what I mean. Yeah, 102.2. So I guess I have a little bit of an advantage there that I have deliberately built up and taken risks, to be honest with you, to beat price drops, price rises, and done transfers early. Largely, I've got away with it, but it has given me that benefit now of that. Seriously, every point one makes a difference at the moment. How frustrating is it when you just 0.1 million away from what you want to do as a strategic move? I guess when you sort of look at the things that you might want to do, I want to go with Gabriel, Timber, and I have actually already brought in Van Dijk this week as part of that move to restructure the defence and move away from the cheap defenders. But you've got Gomez. Gomez would be a really good option for the Liverpool asset, and certainly Timber's a good one. A good one for Arsenal if you can't get to Saliba. And I actually think while he's in there, I actually think I prefer Timber to Saliba. I think Timber generally has a slightly more attacking intent about him. Could be proven wrong on that. Of course, Saliba had one come off his arse, I think, at the weekend. But those are two there. So we've seen a cheapie that I think is pretty similar to me. Sorry, I say cheapie, I mean the sort of cheap defenders and the three cheap forward line. And then we're here see with slightly more expensive. Got the Pedro Porro in there, as well as Timber, so he has got a sort of a higher cost defender that can get you a haul. And Pedro Porro will get you a haul 1 in 5. I personally want that more consistency of I can see some reasonably consistent clean sheets coming in, but also the haul potential is there. And obviously, let's say that more expensive front line. I think that is where it's going. It's just an opinion, but the first two things I've looked at has led me to think I may not be too far off the mark. Right, let's do it slightly. I don't think I'll look at the whole top 5. Let's have a quick look at a few of them. This is the top 5. Salah has managed to cling on with a 20-point lead there at number 1. He obviously built himself up a little bit of a lead to hang in there because he's only got the 63 this week, as I say, which is pretty similar to me. See if he's had any significant changes over the last few weeks. Just the one transfer, still got his Pickford in goal, and Onana on the bench. To me, is quite expensive to have Pickford and Onana. Who am I to argue? It's working from him, and he's caught up, picks out a clean sheet. Rotating more expensive goalkeepers. Don't like it. Virgil's got his Virgil in there. I'll have a look in a second. It's got Porro. So yeah, that's slightly more expensive defence. No, Arsenal in his defence at all. Virgil and Pedro. Maybe you got off the Arsenal thing while they weren't keeping clean sheets, but they are back on their game now. That defence, I do think a double Arsenal defence. Remember last year, it was a differential. It really was. And looking at their fixtures going forward, I think they're going to keep 3 and 5 clean sheets. We'll see if I'm proven right. Salah, Palmer, Saka, as everyone has. Salah's clearly saved his game week this week. And Kulusevski, it's not a bad choice at all. I still think that's not a bad choice, moving towards sort of a cheaper fifth midfielder and a Bowen. I'm going to be on a 3-4-3 with 2 rotating cheaper fourth midfielders. I'm pretty sure that's where I'm going to go. Bowen, don't like that as a pick, but who am I to argue, mate? You're number 1 in the world, not me. And then Wizard Cunha Wood as his rotating cheap forwards, and I do think we'll see that change. How's he doing on his budget? Where can he go? 103.2. Not awful. Not awful at all. Okay, that's your number 1. Right, who's trying to hunt him down here? I think it's going to be Cobbs on the job. There's Cobbs on the job. Right, let's have a look at Cobbs on the job. He's obviously the mover and shaker this week. See what he's doing differently, if anything. Whoa, did I just see what I thought I saw? I did see what I thought I just saw. This, ladies and gentlemen, is what I'm talking about. A strategic worsening of points. He's coming with an 87. He's up to number 2 in the world, and he's got his instant gratification. Yeah, okay, that makes me feel better if I do take a -8 next week. Flecken, not great there. Did he use any chips? No chips. So no, that's really good. Saliba, Arsenal defence. Yeah, relatively cheap. Oh. There is no way you foresaw that. Who's on your bench? And there is no way you started young and got that. Yeah, you lucky bugger. Make your own luck in this game. You create the conditions to be lucky. Probably saw the fixture. Thought, yeah, if someone's got to come in, there's a half chance of a clean sheet there. And he got his reward. And he got a goal out of young guys. Is he the oldest player in the Premier League these days? No, well done. Saka, Palmer, Salah, Captain Palmer. So didn't even get the captaincy pick right, and still got his points. Garnacho, I disagree with so much in this team. I just don't see Garnacho and Wizard Cunha. Ooh. Yeah, well, it is what it is, mate. Yeah, I just don't think Garnacho's minutes are guaranteed at the moment. I'm not sure he's going to suit Arminio's new system, and he may be more of an impact player now. I could be all wrong on that. I have no idea what's in the new manager's head. And I love Garnacho, by the way. I love watching him play. He makes stuff happen. But wing-back he is not. Wizard, Cunha, and Jackson. Okay, so he's got almost but not quite the same forward line as me. And I have João Pedro, Jackson, and Cunha. I brought Jackson in. That was one of my letdowns this week, obviously, in that he got benched. So I did effectively play with 9 players this week. I'm just trying to work out. Yeah, that young made your week, mate. I'm not sure we can count that as a strategic win for you there. You just had an incredibly good piece of good fortune. And I suspect just realised I didn't look at what his hits were for, but I reckon that would have been Jackson coming in. So that to me as well does affirm a little bit what I'm talking about, looking to move out those cheapy forwards and bring in 1, if not 2, of those sort of higher assets that are proven, as I say, Jackson, Watkins, Isak, along those lines, and get at least 1 of those in. And in my case, I want to use Bruno as my cash cow and get 2 in, as well as obviously strengthening up that defence with another Arsenal defender. We will just have a look. Who we have a look at here? And just have a look at Peppa Pig. because it's a decent high score. And what I want to see is who did the ones that are actually moving up the charts here, because I know what I'm going to see in these 55s and 60s. It's going to be so template. This is moving more, I think. Let's see who he's got on the bench. He's definitely on the cheap forwards, but he's got that more expensive defensive line and got his rewards for it, at least with the clean sheet. No, it wasn't. It was a couple of assists out of Trent. But yeah, that's what you expect from Trent in 30 minutes. Can't get to Trent. I wish I could get to Trent. I'd be nervous if I did get to Trent because I can't trust his minutes, I think, at the moment. I think he's going to be managed very carefully. But got his reward with Saliba. Would Saliba have been in the box if Gabriel had been playing? No. But again, though, it's, as I say, going for that sort of slightly more premium defence. Salah, Saka, Palmer. Got his captaincy pick right, of course. It's so important, folks, isn't it, at the moment? Because everyone's midfields are so similar. He's got Evan Nilsson, Cunha. And he's still on the rotating 3 cheapies. But I do think that's going to change for a lot of us. Have a quick look at his game week history. Just have a look. No, I'm actually getting quite interested actually in people's budgets. I do think 102, 103. Yeah, just a little bit less than my 102, 103, 103.8. Yeah, I do think that it was a slightly conscious strategy to go early with transfers, try and beat price rises and price drops, even though I knew it could bite me on the bum. But I am so happy just to have that, sort of 104.5 as a squad value. It's really mean I can just stress that a little bit further that I can do, Gabriel, Virgil, and bring in another Arsenal defender, which probably will be the cheaper option in the Arsenal defence, Timber, but still a bloody good option in my opinion, and can actually get to an Isaac and Jackson as a front forward with João Pedro as my cheap rotating third striker. Maybe rotating with my cheaper midfielder like a Semenyo or something like that. And I really like how that feels as a squad. But I think that's almost certain. And my bench, although I will start to strip down my bench a little bit post Christmas when this fixture congestion goes out. I've still got to have a reasonable bench there. With a cons, with an 8 Nori. Although I will get rid of 8 Nori. I think 8 Nori will absolutely go because he's done nothing for me, and there is a bit of cash in there that I can use. But generally, a bench that they all do start, they all do play, and if something does go wrong with the rotation, at least I know I'll get 1 or 2 points, or fingers crossed, and you never know, might get lucky. Listen, I'm going to leave it on that. I hadn't intended to do this one today. I just thought it was, thought it was interesting to just have a little look at this. Let's put it back there. I'll come back to here. I'll make myself big again. Right, there we go. I'm going to leave it at that. Final thoughts. I think the template's going to shift. I think we have to shift with it and shift early. There is risk involved in that. You don't want to make change for change's sake. But the cheapy forwards are falling away. And that was always going to happen. It was no ways it was going to be sustainable that you could have a Cunha, a João Pedro, and a Wizza, scoring 11, 12 points each game week. Just was never going to happen. It's had their day in the sun. I'm not saying they're not going to get goals. Keep 1, keep 2 if you must. But I think we need to bring in that more reliable, proven asset. So think on that. And double Arsenal defence, and ideally having a Liverpool one in there to create another differential going forward. I really have looked. I might look at it again. Having 5 cheapy rotating 4.5s, and if you get it right, you can really get your rewards out of it. But it's do I really want to see Konza, 8 Nori, and I don't know, someone else as my 3 defenders going out each week? Oh no, I'd rather see Gabriel, Timber, and Virgil van Dijk. I definitely have a lot better feeling, and I think you can almost get to these sort of things and still see, yeah, and I've still got me, Salah, Saka, Palmer, and I've got a nice Semenyo with a home fixture against Ipswich. I think it's the way to go, and I am almost certain I will be doing a strategic worsening of points after game week 15 as I won't work into my 16 to 20 strategy, and rather than trying to do it on a week by week basis, just bite the bullet, get it done, and because there are some good fixtures that I hope will pay it back in the early stage, but I just think in the longer term that's when I'm going to see the major benefits, and as a try and push towards I think 16 to 20 I'll be trying to get into that top 200 at the moment, moving up. Let's get myself in the top 150, then just take each block of fives it comes, look at what went right, look at what went wrong, and then make the changes before the changes make me. Right, folks, enjoy your weekend. It's nearly the weekend here in New Zealand. It is Friday. It is 4:40. It is beer o'clock for me. Enjoy your weekends. Hope you all have a great game week, but not better than mine, because I'm just like that, sorry. And yeah, have fun, play your own game, and above all else, don't panic. Take care. Bye-bye.